Welcome back. President Obama got hammered by Republicans last month for letting Nancy Pelosi's House Democrats fill that stimulus bill with their political shopping lists. And he's taken heat this past week for bowing to the big spenders in Congress for their earmarks. Howard, in your book, 13 American Arguments, you have a long chapter on just this subject, the power of a president in a crisis. And what he ought to do now is your question. I think he's abdicating some power to the Hill and to his own staff. What do you think? And what's he doing?
I agree with that completely. When Rahm Emanuel came over from the House, he was in the House as a member from Chicago, and he came to be White House Chief of Staff. I thought that meant that Obama was going to exercise careful control of Congress through Rahm. Instead, it's been the other way around. Rahm has used his knowledge of Congress to basically let Congress run the show. They did it on the stimulus. They did it on the second spending bill, and now they're saying they're going to do it on health care. They're basically going the opposite of Hillary Clinton 15 years ago and saying, you know what, you people on the Hill, you designed the health care
I love
plan.
this. It's like an ambassador to a third world country who ends up being their ambassador.
And Howard's exactly right. They're doing this on purpose. Their argument is they want to get things done. They don't want to retain all the control in the White House, have a rebellion from Democrats on the Hill, not pass health care, not have stimulus passed, not have a budget, for the year, have the government shut down. So their argument is, yes, we are delegating where we can, as much as we can, to make ours an effective administration.
Who's making that call?
Well, it's interesting. There, of course, the president. Anyone at the White House is going to tell you the president is where the buck stops.
Really?
But there is a brain trust in there, and Rahm is at the core of that brain trust. David Axelrod is certainly in that brain trust. Valerie Jarrett, who came from Chicago, is part of that. And then a team of deputies who are making a lot of decisions. There's a lot that happens in the brain trust before they actually take it to the president, where he makes the final call.
Does this scare business people, the fact that the president is yielding to some extent to the classic tax and spenders on the Hill that love to spend money?
A very big understatement. It's incredibly concerning to them. This is one of the big issues on Wall Street right now. And across the country, when you look at the polls, I mean, Nancy Pelosi and Harry Reid are deeply unpopular. I mean, I think Senator McConnell was slightly more popular.
But the Congress is going up in the polls.
They have gone up, but they're not nearly as popular as the president. To the extent that he keeps ceding power there is, guilt by association. That can go ahead and taint his popularity
But that's more on the taxing issue than the spending issue, don't you think? I mean, I think when you think about this, it's really that what we can't stand, or what Wall Street can't stand, I don't want to say we, is the taxing issue.
Well, they will tax to pay for the spending
and they
at
think
some
Nancy
point.
Pelosi is a huge spender.
And they think that Nancy Pelosi is a huge spender. So it's one side of both.
So what are they worried about most?
The taxing. That's the only issue that I think they're seriously worried about.
Well, of course, the American people want it both ways. The ratings of Congress are going to go up as Congress spends money, but the ratings of Congress will go back down if the taxes are levied to pay for what we're spending.
Let's go back to the president. He was elected to change everything and to be Barack Obama, the CEO of the country. Do you have a sense that he's become too much the candidate, yielding authority on the running of this country back to headquarters, to the people who aren't running around campaigning like he is? He's everywhere.
He is everywhere, and I think the reason that we're seeing that is because his personal ratings are higher than everybody else's. His personal popularity is greater than his policies.
He's out on the road. Can you go out and report and multitask while you're out there and run the place?
Listen, this guy studies and he reads, and he's got a great mind that knows how to bring things together. What I'm saying is he needs to take what he's studying at night and get out there and explain it the way he would in a classroom. That's, I guess I'm hating that to
when
death.
you think about what, people say that the president somehow abdicated responsibility to people like Rahm Emanuel and David Axelrod. That is because he's out there on the road. And when you think about the decisions that need to get made, someone's got to make them. Someone's got to make the policy, and that is why Rahm Emanuel is doing it.
We're getting lost in the mechanics here, though. The thing is that in terms, they've shipped a lot of power to the Congress. This is a presidency that has shipped a lot of power to Congress right now.
A business person watching will know the question. He's had no experience as an executive. Is he getting used to being an executive, or is he abdicating the executive role of the president to his staff?
I think Wall Street has become much happier with his leadership. And I know there's criticism on these speeches, but I think they've become much happier.
They like him out there.
Yeah, and he's providing, everyone said we need a leader. And that is exactly what he's been stepping up more and more and doing.
He just has a different strategy of how to do it. I think he's being smart about getting things done.
Okay, wrap around I began. Has he yielded too much power to Congress and staff?
Yes.
I'm going to say no, because he's doing what he wants to do.
I'm going to say not yet.
I got to go with yes.
Okay, 2-2. I'll say yes. I'll be right back.